Okay, we're on.
We
Um,
are on.
I feel like before you tell me the things that you were gonna tell me, I should tell you that we watched the movie 9 to 5 last night,
Oh, I know, I
and,
know. I was thinking of putting on
it
her music
holds up.
today.
It holds up.
It
I
holds
mean,
up.
sadly, it holds up because all the sexism that it's talking about and all the class stuff that it's talking about is still a thing,
Mhm.
but it's not particularly dated.
And it's from,
Um,
like, 1980 or something.
1980.
Wow.
1980, because
Yeah.
and I was a little off, but, like, Lily Tomlin is wearing, like, her work blazer, which she puts on when she's talking to their boss, Dabney
Mhm.
Coleman, is a lot like my interview blazer that that I had, but that
That you
wasn't
had in 1980?
1986. In 1980, no, I was still in college. Anyway, I
Yeah,
felt like
that's
we
fine.
had to begin by
Yeah, yeah, I was thinking I have to drive, to Hyannis at some point. I was gonna just, like, put on her music. It always seems like
yeah,
when an artist has
yeah.
passed, you should spend some time
I
with
know.
their art.
Yeah. So
Yeah,
I felt like we should say that. And if anyone hasn't seen 9 to 5, I mean, honestly, it's worth watching.
I will. I don't think I've seen it.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Yes.
So
Um,
now tell me the
but
things that you were going to tell me.
oh, yeah. So I'm in
Oh,
Wellfleet, as you know, and we had this event with Emily Ross, our second author.
hmm
I always feel compelled when I do an event with one of our, well, I guess just Emily, because I haven't done one with Robin in a while, but to sort of like tell the audience, this this author is especially special because she signed on with us before we had published any books
yeah,
at all.
yeah,
And like
yeah,
that was a huge leap of faith. And
yeah,
so those two will always be, like a little, I don't know, whatever it is for us.
yeah,
Um
yeah. It takes a
so
certain
like a little more
personality
sentimental
to
about
jump
those
on
ones.
board. Yeah, 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 yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
So, but it was interesting
Your
because,
video keeps sort of stopping and freezing, just
well,
FYI,
I
but I
don't
think
know
it's
why.
fine. I think it's fine. Stay
Okay,
outside.
if
It's
it
fine.
if it does more, I'll move inside.
Yeah, yeah, it's fine.
Um and so I'm in Wellfleet, which is, I've been coming here for 21 years. And the library is this most adorable little library. It's always full of events.
Mm,
They have so many events. And, it's one of the few things out here on the Outer Cape that's open year round. And in the
mm.
winter, we always try, if we're here on a Sunday, we always try to go because it's open for like 3 hours in the winter on Sundays from 2 to 5. But they're not open at all on Sundays the rest of the year, right? But it's a special winter thing.
Oh,
And
interesting.
And
Huh.
there's all these lovely ladies, and they're all ladies, who are part of, the Friends of the Wealthy Library or some such,
Yeah,
and they
yeah.
come and they bring all these home-baked goods, and, they have hot cider, and they have tea and coffee, and it's all just sitting there, and it becomes this little it's a gray, cold winter Sunday afternoon. It's like,
Yeah.
"Let's go to the library and get cider and cookies and leaf through books." So,
Oh.
it's kind of like a little winter ritual. Anyway, it's not winter now, and the rest of the year, they just are chock full of events, and
Mm, mm,
people who come out here are, very much our audience. They're
mm.
people interested in other ideas, interested in sort of, even though this is kind of a beachy destination, they're interested in solid, like, meaty reads, um, substantial
Mhm.
reads, I guess I should say, and so, there's like a little community room. So we set up there, and Emily's there and her husband, and she's staying with a couple of friends in Truro. So they were there. And
Mm.
my own little entourage came. I had my mom, who just flew in from France, and my brother, who's visiting. Anyway, um, the bookseller was there with some cookies. And, gradually people trickle in, but there's always that moment, most people don't know each other in this case. And so it's very quiet. So Emily
Mhm.
and I are chatting a bit, but then when we're not, the whole room is quiet as
Mhm.
people come in, and there's still like
And
10,
they're sort of
15 minutes before the
waiting. Yeah.
event. And you don't yet know what type of event this is going to be. I mean, I know that the conversation with Emily was going to be great, but I can't get a read on the audience at all. There's this one
Mm.
woman who's like yawning and her eyes are closed. I'm thinking, oh,
I mean,
this
I
is
thought you were
gonna
gonna
be
say there's a moment when, and I was like, yeah, when of terror, a moment of
good. There
terror?
is a
There's
little, I mean,
always a moment of terror.
it's not really terror.
Well,
I don't know. I just feel It's sort of for me, it's more just curiosity, like, "Okay, what type of event is this gonna be?"
Yeah.
And then, we get introduced and, we start, and of course, Emily starts with reading that first passage in
Which
her
is
book, which
so good. So
yes, and then I saw a whole bunch of people close their
killer.
eyes, which I assumed, and I was correct, was because they wanted to really just immerse themselves, right?
Wow.
Not that they wanted to, like, take a nap. At least that's how I interpreted it.
That's very cool.
It is, I like hearing that. We go to concerts sometimes, and some people just have their eyes closed. They're just trying to close off the other senses and just listen.
Oh,
Not like a this kinda concert, like a sort of
yeah,
a
okay, like a
jazz
classical
or
concert or
classical
something,
music
yeah,
type
yeah.
concert. Yeah.
Huh,
Anyway,
huh.
and, so we have a whole conversation about her book, etcetera, and people got really animated. It was really nice to see, and all these funny little connections happen, which you sort of forget in the day-to-day of editing and business stuff and sales tracking
Mm,
and
mm,
financials. You forget that there's that human connection that happens, and so or you forget sort of temporarily,
mm,
which
mm.
is the whole freaking reason we do this, right? So,
Right, I mean, honestly, I have to say, it's kind of it's a funny are you there? Yeah, it's a
yeah, yeah.
funny thing, this going to a place to I don't know, it's a funny convention that a thing that is usually
Mhm.
done these days, not always, but these days in the 20th century and the 21st, we're in the 21st now, I do remember that.
We have
Um,
been for a
it's
while.
alright, it's done in solitude,
Yeah.
and yet we do this thing, it's this weird thing where we go, and I'm as I'm saying how weird it is, I'm reminded that in the 19th century, this was a big deal, and my buddy Dickens, he was the kind of the pioneer of the author reading, and also that there is a history of people reading aloud to each other
Right.
because they had to share books, I mean,
Mhm.
so it's not so weird, actually. It
But
may
it
be
does it
weirder now than it used to be. But at the
yeah, it
same time,
feels
we're
sort of
so used to it
unusual.
because it's the convention, it's what you do. You go to a library, you go to a book event, you go to a
Right.
author thing. It takes a little bit of something to say, "I could stay home and read the pages of this book on my own, but I'm gonna
Exactly.
go to a
Go to
place."
this thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it's at an awkward time, and I have to figure out, am I having dinner early before or after? I mean, definitely,
Yeah.
there's the logistics around it. So, but then all these fun, connections took place. So, in that moment before we started, my mom likes to chat with people, and so she was there, and, um, I don't know how this oh, no, Emily said to me, she said, "Oh, the woman I'm staying with, her friend Jackie, who lives in Truro,
Mm,
she's like, she and I go back to elementary school in Brookline, and it turns out that Emily found out at some book club that she was doing with her, like, elementary school group, which I think is
mm.
adorable that they still do this,
Yeah.
that they went to elementary school with my mother's cousin,
Oh,
like, first cousin.
yeah.
So, so then all these stories started coming out about Brookline and Brookline High School and the Driscoll Elementary School and the places that they went, because my mother grew up in Brookline too,
Mm,
and so this connection already started before
mm,
the event started. And then so that already kinda set a friendly atmosphere. And then as we were talking about the book, which of course takes place in Quincy, there was somebody who grew up in Quincy, but she was a good bit older, and so there was comparisons of sort of Quincy then and Quincy now.
mm.
And then Emily mentioned that her husband was from Braintree. There were 3 people in the audience from Braintree. There were
Oh, wow.
discussions yes, then there were discussions that sort of went beyond the book about Braintree versus Quincy, what makes, a place different even though they're not that far from each other. And it was
Mm,
just this super nice and then our friend Asia showed up, writer friend,
mhm.
and asked questions, and there was a writer there was somebody from Grub Street,
Uh,
Susan something.
yeah, it's funny
Uh,
how these things,
I forget
like,
her last name. Excuse
I
me.
think I was reading something, some Substack or something that was sort of to be honest, I didn't finish it because I was like, "Yeah, okay, no, I know what you're gonna say." Uh, with some random Substack. That was sort of making the point that, what are the books that get promotion? And people are always like, "Rah, rah, rah, my book didn't get promotion.
Right.
Why did it not mine or his and not mine or whatever?" And it is often, but not always, a question of whether there is a thing to talk about around the
Right.
book, or whether the book is part of some ongoing conversation, obviously, among many of the other things. But it's like, this is the kind of thing. It's like, oh, the book is set in Quincy, and it's very much about many things, but it's also about the way this city is changing and has
Yes.
changed. And so
Yes.
there's a thing to talk about. And
Right.
you, sure, if you're from Quincy, then you have things to say, but you don't have to be from Quincy to be responding to those issues. So you could be from
Yeah.
Braintree or you could be from anywhere and have a part in that conversation, which I think is really
Exactly. And to your point
cool.
that you were making earlier about sort of, sexism and misogyny still being a thing, um,
Mm,
we talked about the mythology, right? The use of Greek myths in her book, and we were
mhm.
talking about why do we feel why is it? I mean, there's this kind of I don't know if I want to say resurgence because it's I don't know if it's a but
It
there's
never goes away.
yeah,
It's
it
always
never
there.
goes away. This sort of
The myths you're talking
obsession
about.
with these myths, in particular the Greek myths and the retellings. I mean,
Yeah.
how many books are coming out now that are a retelling of the so and so myth?
Yeah.
What is it about our
Yeah.
society that is making us still, again, so focused on these?
Mm,
And I mean,
mm.
as Emily was saying, she's like underneath it all, or not so far underneath. Many of the myths are about, you know,
The
sexual
silencing of women.
abuse, trauma, like all this
Sure.
stuff.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean,
And
they're horrible.
right, that unfortunately hasn't gone away
Yeah.
and won't anytime soon.
Which I have to say is a funny thing of, like, I have a what is I don't know, some, like, she's a young, like, a teenage cousin of some sort. She is in my second cousin lineage.
Yeah.
Her name is Iphigenia. So, I guess in English, what do you say? Iphigenia? I don't even know how you say it.
If I don't even
That
know.
one, that one.
Yes.
And and it's a funny thing where it's like, "Oh, would you name your child
Iphigenia?
after,
I don't think it's Aya at the end in
well,
English.
okay,
Yeah.
if it yeah,
Yeah,
but,
it's like
like,
I
would
can't
you
say French
"Oh, but
words
what
in
if she
English.
had
I
such a
can
terrible fate, would you name your child after this person?" And it's like, it's that funny thing where I actually don't know where I'm going with this, but that these myths, they do live on, and people sometimes they get cut off from
yes,
their
from their significance.
significance, and, like, in
Yes.
modern Greek culture, they are, but are also not
They
connected to
sort of take
their
on their own life, right? Their
yeah,
own kind of more modern
yeah,
life
yeah,
in a sense.
yeah,
Um, yeah, I mean, it makes me think of I don't know, I'm jumping here, but it makes me think of names. This is not mythology, but um, names like Dolores. I mean, that's pain,
yeah,
right?
yeah.
Soledad, solitude. I
Right,
mean, these
right,
are not
right. I know, it's a funny
typically
thing. Yeah,
words that you associate with positive things, and yet,
yeah,
these names are
yeah,
everywhere, and you get sort of so used to saying them and hearing them that you would almost you they're disassociated from
I
their
know.
original meaning.
My favorite thing about weird names, like not weird, about mythological names is when I was probably in my 20s and we were at the beach in Greece, and I heard somebody call out with some urgency, "Agamemnon! Agamemnona!" And everyone's like, "Whoa." And this little child of
Oh
2 goes,
god.
"Yes," "Nah," to his mother, like he's got his bucket and his shovel. It was like this grand name,
Yeah,
and
I
this little
know.
tiny creature is like, "Yes, what do you need?"
I know, yeah, it is funny when you think about how does somebody look at a little baby and assign this name that's so full and big and
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
yeah, and they
But
and
the
and
whole
then they have to
but
grow into it.
the retelling thing, no, you're right. I mean, it's like people have always been doing it, I think, but you're right that it's now become a thing. Because I think
It's
when
become a
Madeline
thing.
Miller wrote, Song of Achilles, there
Mhm,
hadn't been, like, a whole wave of them. There's Mary Renault back
mhm,
in '60s, I think, and, I mean, obviously Joyce, but now it is more
yeah,
like every
and I mean, it's
year
funny,
there's 1
even,
or
like,
2, and
2 of our, 7 titles so far have something involving Persephone, and the
oh,
pomegranate like, out in Backstitch, there's that whole scene and the
mm,
pomegranate,
mm,
and then there
yeah,
is in Swallowtail,
yeah.
uh,
But I mean, I think these are like they're powerful myths and they do persist, not persist, like they exist through cultures, right? Because
Right.
like people have different cultures have different versions of
Versions of basically the same
like
stories.
that.
Yeah,
Yeah, because
yeah,
they tackle these essential oh, we have to stop in a second, but they tackle these essential questions
right.
of sometimes it's like how you explain your natural world, right? Like the seasons, but it's like life, death, the afterlife, connection, love, all those things are huge.
Yeah, but in most of them, and this is a whole other topic, but most of them, there are a few, like, sort of women goddesses or, well,
Yeah.
personae,
Yeah. Yeah.
that are, strong and powerful and have some control, but if for the most part, they don't.
Yeah. Yeah.
Anyway,
Yeah.
on
Okay.
that sober note.
Topic for another time.
Yes.
Okay. We have to stop.
We have to stop.
Our
Okay.
15 minutes of fame are done.
Yes, we're very
Yeah.
famous.
Yeah. All right. I'll see you
All
in our
right.
meeting that takes place in
Yes,
45
in
minutes.
45 minutes.
Okay. Bye.